Hey guys, Dan Luss, Abnormal Outdoors again. Today's a very good day. My knife is now complete. Been a few months, a lot of testing, back and forth, talk back and forth. Coronavirus shut us down a little bit. So now I'm pleased to say it's here. It's finally done. And I'll show it to you right now. What it comes with, Kydex sleeve. Guys, this is just a sleeve, just to protect the knife. That's how you're gonna receive the knife. And there she is. It's called the Lut Skinner. I've been skinning animals for a long time. Always wondered what I wanted. Never could purchase what I wanted, excuse me. You guys get to look at this knife. Very pleased with this knife. I've been running this knife for about probably 3 weeks since I got it, maybe a month. Just seeing it's going to do what it's supposed to do, and it does. Very, very pleased with this knife. So let's talk about it. Why this angle? Why this shape? Why this bump handle? Well, if you're not new to skinning, will this knife make you a master skinner? No, only practice does that. But what it will do is help you out, and that's why the shape is there. So this bump here is because the first thing you do when you skin an animal is open him up. And technically we skin from the inside out. So when you hold your hand on this knife, you can see that bump. That bump's because I'm going to be pushing. It's going to under the skin, and it's going to lift the skin and separate it. You see that? Your fingers below here is going to help guide you to keep you from pulling out. Everybody's seen videos and you try to skin and you're popping out the skin all the time. This is try to correct your angle and keep it held for going underneath the skin. So okay, that's great, and it zips open. It's a zipper. So when you're gutting a deer, you don't want to gut into the intestines. You lift that up, she'll zip right on down. The second thing on the knife is that when you're also skinning, like I said, most knives are not designed to be run upside down. But when I flip it back over, now, see that notch, that bump again? It hooks my little finger. Keeps me from diving in too deep. You can kind of see that. I've got really large hands, guys. But everybody knows where the tip of their finger's at. When I extend the knife out, I lose control. The longer the knife, the less control on the tip. Remember, we're skinning animals. And if you're skinning and fur bearing, you're going to do around the eyeballs, knife. It's all about money, making the right professional cuts, called money cuts, making sure everything's right. So now, I've got that up there like that. You can see that. Won't let me go any farther. Now, when I'm pulling the hide, and you got a pole, I can lay in there and just touch. So I'm getting that, especially around them hard areas. Little detail knives. So would I do a muskrat with this? Absolutely. Would I do a squirrel? Yeah. Rabbit? Yeah. Would I do a bull elk with it? Absolutely. A large knife will do a big job. So I'm really pleased on this knife. I went with curly maple handles on it. I was looking for the traditional style of these knives. This might be a little different when we get them in. The coloring on it, but I like that. It is made out of 1095 steel. Now, everybody watching my YouTube channel knows that I mess with a lot of crucible steels and different steels. 01 being my favorite. Why didn't I go 01? Because I want to get this into your hands, guys. I want the average guy, or even a beginner, to be able to handle a knife and be able to sharpen a knife and maintain a knife. And I want to do it at an affordable price. That's the whole key. Now, with that said, we'll go over the specs of the knife. The specs of the knife, like I said, 1095 steel, convex edge. Why convex or flat? And that's due because they cut better than Scandies and other grinds. That's why the knife is thin. The knife is a 1/16 inch thick, guys. Gotta be careful. You see a little bit of flexibility to it. Why? Because thinner it is, the better it slices. and that's what we're looking at. Now, I have used this in the garden, cutting off collard greens, playing like that. Wasn't really designed for it, but my wife's been using it. I've been carrying it. This knife does not come with a sheath. If you need a sheath for this knife and you want one, you know who to call, StitchGearOutfitters.com. He can hook you up with the sheath for this. But I'm not carrying this knife. This knife is designed to be put on your sheath and in your pack. This is your specialty tool. This is your go-to slicer. You don't want to be doing feather sticks and batoning. If you baton this knife, it ain't gonna last. But you understand my point. This needs to be in your pack. This is when you got your big prize deer down. You know, your 85-pound beaver that you want to mount. You want to make sure your skin are good. That's what this knife's for. Like I said, you know, it's part of my tools in my toolbox. Every knife has a purpose. This is strictly designed for skinning. So let's go over specs real quick. The blade is 16-inch thick. I'm going to read off a little chart here, make sure I get it right. The blade length is about 3.8 inches long. Okay, the handle is 4.3 inches long. I've got really big hands. You can see. Large handle, little knife, less fatigue. Okay? The handle here is 3/4 inch. Handle this way is about an inch. The weight of this knife is astonishing. Everybody I've let mess with this knife comes in 1.7 ounces, guys. Very light knife. Now I was asked, did it float? No, it don't float. I actually tried it, so it don't float. With this combined, the sheath, the total weight is 2.2 ounces, guys. I mean, you can throw this in your pack and forget about it. So this is a very light, super knife. The problem with super heavy knives, and you do 25 coons, you're going to find out, you know, that weight of that knife is going to be a factor. So it's that's where we're standing on that. You can convert that over to grams if you want to, but like I said, 2.2 ounces total weight. So I'm pretty happy about that. Comes in super light. Everybody can put one of these in your pack. And so we got to do that. Remember, it's $10.95, so we got to keep her oiled up. Me, I use mineral oil. I have the video on that, how to maintain, sharpen and maintain this knife. So it's very easy. Why I went for $10.95, like I said, I want the beginner to be able to sharpen this knife. I want the average trapper to be able to sharpen this knife. And really not sharpen it, you're stropping it. That's all you need to do with convex, you just strop it. You don't really sharpen it. So, how to get this knife? How to get this knife is you got to go to Dan Lutz. You got to go to PayPal. I only have a PayPal account. Dan Lutz, Abnormal Outdoors, and it'll take your link. This knife is going to sell for $80, which, like I said, everybody knows me, knows what kind of knives I deal with. Several $100 knives. This is, I was trying to keep the cost down because I want to get the new guys into skinning. So it's $80 plus shipping and handling. And we're going to have a limited run. This is a pre-order video, guys. I've talked to Dan on that. You know, we're going to see what kind of numbers we got. The first run should be around about 30 knives is what we're talking about, but it's pre-order, guys. You've got to pre-order this and get on the bandwagon. Now, shipping on these knives, you'll receive these knives between 4 and 5 weeks, and that's because they're all custom made. They're all handmade knives, guys. These ain't production knives that are stamped out. So you got to give them time. But I know Dan can get them out. Dan's a very good guy. Everybody knows this is coming out of, come on, Jeff White's knife shop. I've known Jeff White for a long time. He was big in the 80s in the beginning. When I was buckskinning back in the 80s, you couldn't touch a Jeff White knife because they were into buckskinning. And that's how come I went with that look on there. It's an old traditional look. Like I said, this carbon might be not as much. That's going to vary a little bit on the coloring. But the handles are curly maple, lightweight. I wanted it lightweight. I wanted it looking good. So I believe it's a traditional knife with a modern take. That's my take on it, guys. So like I said, I'll put it in the description below. That's Dan Lutz, Abnormal Outdoors on my PayPal account. And remember, this is a pre-order. So we'll get these ordered in. When I get the count up, we're gone. And then I know what the count is and we can get it. So hopefully, I mean, if we sell out on 30, I'll go ahead and call him and see if we can get another round made. We're going to try 30 of these right now. Like I said, guys, I've really spent a lot of time on this. This is about 40 years worth of trapping and understanding what we're looking for. You can see the notch in the front, that dowel edge. That's to keep piercing the guts and stuff like that. It's a detail knife going around the eyeballs. It lifts and separates. You know, when we're skinning, we touch. Most skinners, most trappers only use this much of a knife, guys. I brought it back a little farther for them big heavy them elk, heavy beaver, where it starts lifting the hide and then splits. I give it a thumb stop. You know, I got markings on my hand, but see that? So, and then I like this grip here. Totally buried in my hand. Now, like I said, I got large hands. You're still okay, but it's not 3, 4, 5, 6 inches out here. You know what I'm saying? A lot more control. Pulling around the eyeballs, around the ears, taking the ear cartilage out. Going to be a wonderful knife. Look, it gives me a big flat spot. See that to choke up on there, man? Do some real serious detail work with that. But would I do a full-blown buffalo with that? Yeah, I would. I really would. So I believe I could flip his leg open, get under his hide, and just ride on down his knuckle, man. Open it up, pull, done. And we'll talk about, you'll see number video 2 on this, is how to maintain, how to sharpen and maintain the Lut Skinner. So guys, I really hope you enjoy this knife. I do. I've got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this knife. I got a lot of experience in this knife, guys. So I really hope you enjoy it. I have. I've done some test marketing with it, and everybody seems to love it. And the number one thing I get is when they receive it, it's like, this thing doesn't weigh anything. So, you know, no excuse not to carry it in your pack. You know, so guys, like I said, Dan Lutz Abnormal Outdoors at PayPal, and get on the bandwagon on this to get these pre-orders done, and we'll get them to you as fast as we can. Guys, I appreciate everything you did for my YouTube channel. I did hit over 600 subscribers. I said I'd like to apologize for not putting any videos out, but we've got a lot going on in this world. So I've been pretty busy on designing stuff, so, and you're going to see it in the near future. These knives are going to come in a tool roll. Eventually, I have a series of 4 knives coming out, and they're all for a tool roll for your pack. The tool roll's not here yet. We're just going to put out the knives and eventually put the tool roll out. So guys, there's where I'm going with it. I know you guys all been waiting on me for that like that. So guys, thank you very much for what you guys done, and I'm really happy. It's a good day. The introduction to Lut Skinner. Thanks, guys.